slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel. Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing.
Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Happy Saturday. Hello, everyone. I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about foods that complement your age. So thank you all so much for joining us here today. This is a pre-recording. We will be streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Facebook and YouTube. So, Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on stage so we can get the party going. Hello.
Hello to you. It's good to see you. And hello and good morning, everybody. Grand Rising for my brothers and sisters out there getting up, making it happen. We appreciate you being here today. And as always, we want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
And of course, happy Black History Month. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, that means February must be on us.
And actually, happy anniversary to me because this is my 7th year plant-based.
That's, woo, man, we got a lot to, I want to go, wow, that's really great, 70 years. How you feel about that? What's one of the most dynamic things that you've gotten from that shift?
You know, one thing is consistency. Because I haven't fallen off and then gotten back on. I've stuck to it from the minute I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I've kept with that thing. So for sure. And then also just being aware with the labels and everything else. That's been a for sure difference that I've made since I've made that decision, because you have to read the labels to make sure you're not violating the rules or, you know, the decision that you made to not have that any animal products in your body. So for sure that's a skill that I've say it again.
I said that you taught yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because we're all teaching ourselves to do something. We're teaching ourselves how to get better, or if we're not doing that, we're teaching ourselves how to not do better. And that's it's all repetitious. And I'm glad to see that over 7 years you've made that change. So congratulations for that. That's really great. I'm going to give a couple of, we have like Rodney Van Johnson's birthday's coming up, Dr. William Faulkner's birthday. I'm saying happy birthday to Chantel Heath. Her birthday is today. And let me see.
Your birthday, Dr. Zarif, your birthday is
my birthday is Wednesday.
Yes.
Right?
It's like 5 days away or so. 4 days away.
February the 5th. Remember, everybody, turn your lights on. Leave your lights on all day. No. But it's really it's really great. I feel wonderful, and we're going to talk to you about some ways that you too can feel so wonderful as I do. And before we do that, we got to take time to say hello and happy belated birthday to Nurse Cheryl Lee, Gentle Smart. And it's really, this is one of our most wonderful guests because she is just dynamite, support us like she's one of our top supporters, and we just definitely want to convey that. And we want to say happy birthday to all of those people that have birthdays. I know I missed somebody, and I'm sorry, but I didn't right now. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. So celebrate with us all. Those people that are Pisces, those people that are Aquarians. And so, wherever, I don't want to get into all that, but it's yeah, baby, I'm Aquarius. Those songs.
And I also wanted to say this is a pre-recording, like I mentioned earlier, because we are again going to be at, or will be at, Mount Tabor for your nutrition / exercise class. I could get that out.
The funky fitness is there. Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes it's so funky you can't get the words out. It's like Funkinetics is in the house. We getting ready to do some big things. Thanks to the wonderful Michelle Franklin with her great ideas. We're going to be doing some really huge things and look forward to it. Those of you that's been working out with us and hanging with us all of this time, we're going to have a reunion. And so we're putting it together. The reason that I'm telling you ahead of time, so at least you can have that on your mind to know that we're getting together. So if you want to get your body together so you be looking good at the reunion, make sure you come down and work out with us, with the brothers and sisters down at Mount Tabor. That's 6614, I believe. Western Avenue. It's right close to the well, not too far from it, but what is that? Gage and Western. So
Yes.
look at
Los Angeles, California.
Pardon me?
Los Angeles, California. We always got to remember to say where we are.
That's right. Since we worldwide now. So yeah, thank you everybody. So we want to thank everybody also that may be driving and listening. Make sure that you drive safely, pay attention to the road. We don't want to take anything for granted. Today we're talking about foods that complement your age. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, so I got to get there. And this is really, really important here because we're going to start off talking about muscle loss. And when we talk about muscle loss, we're talking about how we can repair it with some of the foods that we eat. Okay, so let me go here. I want to give my 100% attention to some of the things that we're talking about, or all the things actually. Let's go ahead and talk about maintaining muscle. As far as the foods that complement your age, one of the very first things that's happened when you're not eating in a helpful way is that it starts to show, and your skin, no matter how slender you are, if you're not working out, your skin will not be toned. So it's as simple as that. If you're not working out, you're not moving. Some people are in pain because they're not moving enough. And it doesn't have to be as extreme as sarcopenia, which is a disease that people get, or a disorder that people will get from not working out enough. And that is really important for us. So sometimes, yeah, right. If you don't move enough, you could be sore. I remember that I was walking and my knees would hurt. It's called chondromalacia patella. And this is when you're like, even when you're walking up the steps, you hear the creaking of your knees and sometimes pop. Well, I didn't want that. So I continued to explore and to learn more from the osteologist and learn more about the bone. And I did my due diligence, and believe me, it's worth it because I don't have to worry about that anymore. And who wants to? Every time you touch your toes, or you you're bending down to get something or what have you, it's really important that you feel confident to do that. Not like you're going to fall over it, that you're going to be in a lot of pain. Doctors joke that, the exercise, they say if exercise were a drug, that everyone would be queuing up to take it. And that's, it's like I got to get that exercise. Well, alas, getting fit is harder than simply popping a pill. And, many of us don't get enough of this miracle treatment, even though it seems to be able to just slow the process of aging. So the process of aging can slow down. I know, I look at my family, and we got some beautiful genes because my brother's skin is beautiful, and they take care of themselves. They look fit. And some can be fit more than others, but for the most part, everybody looks fantastic. So a lot of it has to do with your gene pool. So when you see people that already have a six pack and say that you can have them too in 30 days, then that's quite untrue. That's not going to happen 30 days, 90 days, or 130 days, because they're talking from a place of genetics, not from a place of earning, your cuts and earning all, the striations in your muscles. Most of us most of us know that we should be getting about 150 minutes of moderate activity, such as brisk walking, or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise per week. That's for the week, 75 minutes. Okay. And as you can do that little by little. Now, what's often overlooked is the strength training. Resistance exercise can help you to preserve both your bone density and your muscle mass, which is very important as you get older. Now, some people think that BIG equals MAN, but the truth is that it really comes down to what that person is doing. You can't just grab that title, man. And you can grab the title male probably, but a part of maintaining or adhering to the responsibilities as an individual is very important, that you either get 150 minutes of moderate activity, like brisk walking, or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise per week. Now, vigorous means what? It means you're going to bring your heart rate up. And it means that you don't have to be sweating and, oh God, I got to change the shirt. But it's like you want enough at least for you to bring your temperature up. And this is when you start making changes in the body. You want to tax yourself. And don't bring all that, like different fluids around and you drinking like you climbing a mountain. Just take little sips and go at it, okay? Start your workout. What's often overlooked is strength training, and the resistance exercise can help you to preserve both bone density and muscle mass, which are really important as we age for a variety of reasons. Muscles even helps us to regulate our blood sugar levels after meals, and this is something that actually will get worse as we get older if we don't do something about it. Okay. So there you have muscle loss. Let's continue with a little more. We lose roughly 5% of our muscle and 10% of our strength every decade after the age of 30. So this is really important to know. You lose roughly 5% of our muscle and 10% of our strength. And this is every decade after 30, every 10 years after 30. So at 40, 50, 60, and so forth, we're losing another 5% of muscle and 10% of our strength. That's why you see guys that's in the gym, when they're pumping up all that, God, they're still unusually strong. But even with those guys, if you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, for instance, if you look at his younger pictures, he's buff everywhere. Now, this guy kept working out. He didn't turn into a slouch by any means. He wouldn't made the movies, and then he did other things, but he could not avoid aging. This is a natural phenomena. Is this not something that only those people get it, and only those kind of people get it? Everybody ages. So this is very important. Keep that in mind. The resistance exercise can delay or even reverse this decline. It can reverse it because first it's going to give you more energy. You'll have more strength. You can also maintain more muscle mass. You may not be this person that's in the centerfold, but you may be a person that look pretty doggone good for your age. When people say, God, how do you, what? Oh man, what are you drinking? You know, they want to know what in the world is going on. And you have a lot of things. Melanation is another thing. The black don't crack is real. The melanation and taking care of your skin. And sometimes, oh man, even I, as a black man, I get envious of that brother with that purple black. You know, I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Now, my mother was very rich in melanation, and oh man, it's just you know, that's why I always keep Carolyn close to me, because she's no. But I tell you, look at Carolyn, look at your skin. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So those of you that have any, you know, if you're thinking about your skin and you want to be lighter and all that stuff, you know, think again. That stuff is absolutely abhorrible. It's just like, it's something that you want to, I think I just made a new word. I mean, that horrid, but that it's really important for you to understand how important your skin is, how important taking care of it and being proud of it. So we got to also ignore some of these fad diets. People love to jump on fads. They're still talking about different things, you know, like when CMOS became really is still trending, but not as much. But when these new things come out, people made everything CMOS shakes, CMOS pies, CMOS Kool-Aid, CMOS ice cubes, CMOS protein drinks. And go to your store if you think I'm just making this stuff up. Go to your like a place like Whole Foods, or go to Sprouts and see what I'm talking about. CMOS really poof. And it's like, what? We can actually sell this. So, and some people swear about it, and there's other mixed feelings, but it doesn't matter. It's a fad diet, and you should definitely do your due diligence. You can spend a lifetime just trying every diet and put forward by the best of the marketers, or those people that are doing marketing. You know, you can definitely take a lot of time, money, and you got the time is what's important. You know, you can get money back, but when you use time, it's gone. So yeah, we have to really make sure that we are being thoughtful, doing our due diligence, and know that, you know, it takes study also. It's very important to pick up a book every now and then and read, so that you can get some information about what you're looking for. Exactly how much this could roll back as far as the biological clock is really not clear. But we do know that the biological clock is important. That's your circadian rhythm. What you eat and when you eat it has a lot to do with the way that you feel, the way that you look, and the way that you perform. Let's go on down here. I want to go to this. Is going to shock you a little bit, but one of the things that's important about the foods that complement your age and the behavior is brushing your teeth. This is one of the most surprising connections in aging biology, is between the good oral hygiene and living longer. So if you want to elongate your life, then guess what? Good oral hygiene is important. If you walk around and you have periodontal disease, or you have pyorrhea, that's the swelling and infection of the gums, and you're swallowing that toxin over and over every day, and you know, when it gets down to, you know, how people say, God forbid if you kiss somebody with that mouth. I mean, it's just like that's a lot that you can't see. So if you are really concerned, you know, make a joke, easily approach your partner and say, let me see what's happening. When's the last time you got your teeth checked? And you don't have to look all in their mouth and stuff like that and make them feel all embarrassed, but you just mention it. Make sure when you can show me that you got that, your mouth is, that you're taking care of your teeth, then we can talk about something else. But for right now, I got a phobia as far as giving you a big juicy kiss, knowing that you're not taking care of your oral hygiene. The first hints of this came with studies, not that people with less tooth decay and gum disease seem to have fewer heart attacks. Isn't that a trip? People see how where all of the stuff that we do is not like, I'm not going to pay attention to my teeth, or I'm not going to pay attention to other things. It's important it all works together. Those people that have bad oral hygiene increase, and this again, there's evidence, science that backs all of this, that really tells you that these are some of the things that you should avoid or some of the things that you can do. So that's a trip. What you think about that, Kara?
No, I agree with it. I can see how that would affect your body as well. Like you say, if you whatever you have in your mouth, if you're swallowing that, it now affects your body. So it makes sense.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
More of teeth brushing. The exact link wasn't clear as far as how sometimes it's connected. But as I said, when we talk about the sulcus or the gums, you can talk to your dentist more in depth about this. But your tongue, your epithelial tissue, that's that soft material in your mouth, all of that is very, very important to maintain, because during your bad oral hygiene, as Kara just expressed, this is something that we do repetitively. You're swallowing constantly things that you're not really thinking about. There's food in your mouth that may be not removed from flossing.
Right.
There's all of those things, and those are the first ones that want, hey man, how you doing? Give me some room. Yeah, so.
There's the Wayans brothers. It's a skit or something like that they do, where they're always talking about people with bad breath. They always want to use the hey and the how, and want to use those words and be all up in your face. That just reminds me of that when you did that.
You know what? I've heard a lot of those kind of not that what you just said. Yeah, that's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But I have so much respect for the Wayans family as I hear the different brothers tell stories of how they grew up.
Oh, yes.
And the ways that they the examples that they got and how much they love each other now. I see them having their shows together. I think it's just, that is so, God, it's extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really I've heard other comedians say things, and I'm like, like a lot of times there's people are envious of other people when they got their stuff together.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when you get your stuff together, I want to say something else, but when you get your stuff together, make sure that you are a person that puts yourself first. And that if anybody says something about you, then they got to be thinking about you. To me, it's all a compliment. Compliments and that negative feedback or criticism is the same thing. I say the same thing with all of, thank you, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. For both of them, right?
For both of them.
Mm-hmm.
People to get, oh, really? Oh, stop. I need to break the balloon on that one. Here
we go. We're gonna start bringing that segment in.
Yeah. Let's do that. That'd be cool. Good. Start next week. Shoot, that's right. Okay. Well, the inflammation is a normal immune response, and it is usually a response to an infection or an injury. and it's usually short-lived, and thankful for that. But some people have ongoing inflammation. Ongoing inflammation leads to bigger problems, especially when you're talking about chronic diseases. And chronic diseases are diseases that won't go away easily, and some hang around for the rest of your life. It's very important that you start taking care of your body today, not yesterday. Talk about what you used to do today. Don't talk about like that the woman that says, I used to do a split, I just want to, if I could only split again. Think about stuff that's worth it, that you can't. I mean, I'm sure that's arguable too. No, when I do splits, I have good days, whatever. I don't know why they even. Okay, so like we go back into getting enough sleep. This is really important when we go to sleep, everybody. Why? Because this is where you do practically all of your healing, because you're in a state called anabolism. And this is important. Catabolism is when you're active and you're up, and there's probably some degree of catabolism that continues while you sleep. But anabolism is what I want you to concentrate on now, because this is when we talked about earlier about more muscle growth. When we talked about even the density of your bones. Those people that aren't working out, especially using resistive exercise, that's why we use that the weight, so that you can increase the density of bones and increase the mass of your muscle. So you've heard this before, the studies that suggest that the sweet spot for sleep is about 7 to 8 hours per night on average. But what you may not have heard as much as you may not heard about, if you get too much sleep, can be detrimental to affect your health. And detrimental effect is what I want to say here, and that means that is deleterious, is dangerous, is something that actually works against you. Regularly getting over 9 hours of shut eye a night associated with a higher risk of death than getting a little as much as 4 hours. So this is what I suggest to you, because I'm sure there's questions, and you can put those down in the comments, and we'll get to them. But you'll say, what is too much? Well, the same thing, too little. I think 4 hours is much. That's like, you can do it, but this isn't something that you do over and over, because it can shift your circadian rhythm, and you be in a place where I can't go to sleep in the daytime. I can't get the rest, and you're getting ready to go to work maybe at 6 p.m. You got to rest. And then you do what? You increase the chances of injury. So you're driving, you get sleepy. Everybody that you had, I got it. You don't know when you're about to go to sleep and become unconscious for those seconds.
Oh.
And it can be long enough for you to kill yourself. Just gonna come straight out. I don't want to say injury, kill yourself. You can do these things, because if you don't take care of yourself in a way that you're getting a balance of sleep, So 8 hours is great. I have just recently started to apply getting up early to my schedule. So I get up earlier, so I have more time. What time is earlier? About 5 to 5:30 is earlier for me. So when I get up at that time, sometimes I have to get up. It depends on what I got happening, but I make sure that I make the adjustment. And when I eat, I make sure I have my fruit, whether, I get up at 8 a.m. or if I'm getting up at 4 a.m. I make sure I start off. Remember, water is the neutralizer of toxins. It's also a hydrator. It hydrates you. It's also for everything else that we need in our body. We need water. Okay. And there's about 60%, if you ever weigh yourself, about 60% of that is your weight is water weight. About 20% is weight from your fat, and about another 20% is for your vitamins and your minerals and other nutrients. And this is for every person's body. That is the composition. And we need to take care of that. Again, don't get too much sleep. Get enough sleep. You don't have to overdo it. And I know sometimes you feel like it, and sometimes it is necessary for you to sleep a little longer because you may have stayed up, and you want your body. You know when it's enough is when you feel your body adjust, like you can get up. Getting up doesn't, or feeling good from getting up doesn't really happen until you get up. You can't lay down in bed and say, yeah, I'm gonna get up. And you get up. Once you get up and water on your face and do all those things you do in the morning, and then get something in your body, you go to work. And remember, I ain't talking about some meal that has to be some grand event. I'm just talking about a few slices of fruit. You taking some water in. Those are the main, not the only ones, but they're the main foods that you can get in your body. Carol, I'll let you get a breathe in here. Well, I'll get a breathe in. And why don't you go ahead and reset us, please?
All right, no problem. Thank you all for joining us here today in the Mind of Nature. This is a pre-recorded live stream. We are streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. Also, today's topic, we're talking about foods that complement your age. So thank you all so much for joining us here. And yes, happy Black History Month. Hey. Dr. Farid, back to you.
All right. Though sleep remains one of the most mysterious aspects of our physiology, longevity science is uncovering mechanisms to explain how a good slumber can lengthen your lifespan. For example, while we sleep, our brains do a spring clean, and this literally flushing out the toxins like the amyloid deposits associated with Alzheimer's disease. You didn't know that, did you? When you collect these different amyloid deposits, this is the more you collect, of course, the higher the risk is in contracting Alzheimer's disease via a recently discovered network of pipes in our skulls. This is a system, and it's called glymphatic. And the glymphatic is this is recently discovered is consists of pipes in our skull. Of course, they're biological, and this is we'll get more into that when we talk about our sutures, occipital, our parietal bones. We'll get into that at another time. But given that accumulation of toxin proteins is one of the hallmarks of aging. Now, slow down brain aging, making the well-known advice to get enough shut-eye is a bit more compelling. So sleeping is way more than people get it. Remember, I want to go back to this again. While we sleep, our brains do a spring clean, literally flushing out toxins like amyloid deposits associated with Alzheimer's. Now, we know that dementia is on the rise, and it's important that we do our due diligence to find out more about it. But we know now there are foods that you can eat to reduce the chances of Alzheimer's. Do it as young as you are, which is right now. Start eating what you can say, because you have done your due diligence to know that, for instance, raw vegetables, raw fruits, eating, making sure that you're being hydrated. These simple things could really mean a lot to something as big as Alzheimer's. And things like your glymphatic system, you may not ever use that in life. I'm doing it because I'm an educator, and this is just part of getting or disseminating the education, but it's really important for you to look farther for yourself so that you can continue in discovering more things to make your body healthier. Now, I talked about the oral hygiene. I think that is also important to talk about what else you can do as a behavior to complement your age, and that is to wear sunglasses more. So you might have gone to, like your you went to see your ears, nose, and throat doctor, and one of the things that they check, eyes uh, sometimes are a bonus when you go to them, but you need to go to a person that optometrist or optometrist. And with both of those, optometrists is usually when you see the people that are giving you glasses, and they're doing the, and ophthalmologist is a person that is associated with the surgery, like removing cataracts, for instance, or doing different surgeries with eyes. So, but wear sunglasses. Why? Because look, every time that sun hits you and it comes down on you and your eyes react to it, sometimes it's not a good thing to allow the sun just to stay there. Or if you're outside and you're working or even playing sports, you'll see people now in track and field, they'll put on those sharp glasses now, they're Oakleys, and they're running, with their Oakleys on. I don't want to do a commercial here unless Oakley, if you hear this, make sure you write a check and, support the show. Anyway, just joking, y'all. It's not only just your skin that you need to keep safe. And, we always talk about keep your skin safe from the sun. SPF what and up? Do you remember, Care? Okay.
I do. I'm sorry. I had to get a drink of water. I was choking. SPF 30 and up.
That's correct. 30 and up. And it's really important that you adhere to that. Now, we're not talking about the skin right now, although that is a part of it. But it's the same thing. You have to also protect your eyes. Looking after your eyes is just as important. And the effects of shielding them could include preventing dementia. Same thing. Okay, it's the same thing that we're talking about. I'll be right there. Okay. Because the damage that can be done by the ultraviolet light has consequences that stretch beyond vision loss. So it's really important, we have the ultraviolet light or the night light vision. Go ahead, Karen. Sorry.
It was a question, and it was about a slide that you had earlier, and I thought about it because you're talking about Alzheimer's, and I've heard that aluminum is linked to Alzheimer's. And I know that is something that you would find in toothpaste, and people tend to recommend getting toothpaste without aluminum in it. How do you feel about that? Or what's your thought on that?
Well, I think that I agree with that. You can just take some simple sodium bicarbonate and you can use that. This is just another the chemical name for the soda, baking soda. You can take baking soda and do a better job brushing your teeth than if you would these different paste. Remember that paste is made to stay on the shelf, is made to balance a certain flavor out, is made to protect the colors in there, if they get oxygenated in some kind of way. You don't want to open a tube of paste and then it comes out all dark or brown because it's been sitting on the shelf. So they want to guarantee that every time you squeeze, it's going to be brand spanking new looking paste, and people like what they see on TV. So what they'll do is they're like, "Oh, I want the one that you, ooh." and you think about that. They even want the same kind of little, you squeeze it out and it ends up in a little point and curled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get all that stuff from TV, too much TV. But getting back to the UV light, it can also do damage to the light sensitive cells on the back of the eye, accelerating the disease, age-generated macular degeneration. So the age-related macular degeneration. This is when people, their eyes, they can see a little bit, but it's like a little patch on your eyes, and you can see what's beyond that a little bit, but it's kind of like looking around, something is blocking you like this. Okay. And some people get this, and this, when we're talking about those things that are harmful in the foods or the products that are on the shelf. I mean, that's a big thing that you brought up, Karen. That is, read those labels. Okay. Now, reading the labels, people, I think they do them so freely because they know that, I don't care what they say, warning, do not drink this. People are going to still do it.
Right. And it's funny that you say that. The warning signs, I've started to, even like with products that says warning, products may cause cancer, and it has that on there. I start saying, oh no, I'm not gonna get that. I don't want to say I used to see it and not care about it. The thing about it is I didn't even notice it, but now, like I said, reading labels is not only for food, but for products that you use as well. That's something where I'm like, oh no, it says that it may cause cancer. I think I'm going to do without that,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's wine, cigarettes, just those two, wine and cigarettes, they have warning. There's other things that have warnings too. It's like, we know that usually when people have like some sleeping pills, that if you take a series of those pills, if they're suggesting that you take one pill and follow with water and go to sleep, or lie down until you go to sleep. But you have people that want to hurt themselves, unfortunately. And if they're going through the different phases, I don't want to trigger anybody, but there are different phases, then that can be something that we definitely want to avoid overdoing. But when it comes to things that we know that we can, I mean, these are simple things too that we're talking about, Karen. We're talking about putting on your sunglasses. We're talking about also one of the things that's very important here is always wearing the sunscreen. We talked about that earlier. The damage to our DNA caused by the UV light means that almost all our skin cells are mutated by the time that we reach our 50s. So we already, just by us getting older, there's a change of skin that makes us more vulnerable to certain diseases. And it could be cancer, could be one of those things. Now, we don't know yet exactly how this contributes to aging, but these mutations aren't present in young skin. So there is definitely a difference in the chemical structure of our skin as we grow older. And this is when people, say things like, oh, well, you getting on up there in age, huh? That's just so silly. Is this what you're supposed to do when you're around for 50, 60, 70, 80 and more years? Yeah. That's living long warrants a compliment more than living short.
Yes.
If a person is still alive, they got to be doing something correct. If you like in your 60s and 70s, especially being a Black man in America, you're doing something that makes sense in protecting yourself.
Yes.
So that another great conversation to come. Okay, so wearing the sunscreen is important as well. The other thing I wanted to read this right. This is important for all the potions making promises in the beauty aisle. By far, the most effective anti-aging cream is the Humble sunscreen. Did everybody get that? It's the Humble. It's your sunscreen is the best lotion that you can put on your body. Not all that moisturizer. That's fine. You don't want to have ashy knees, but it's really important that you put a protection, something that protects your skin. So the sunscreen, as well as not protecting you against cancer, and the ultraviolet light emitted from the sun accelerates the aging of the skin through a few different mechanisms. Okay, so I already talked about firstly the skin that's supple when you're young, and that it does lead to wrinkles if you don't take care of yourself. There's ways that you can slow down, and I also talked about the DNA caused by the UV light means that almost all of your skin cells are mutated by the time that you reach your 50s. Another very important thing is that let me go back down here, is that it means that doing everything that you can to avoid infections might have a positive impact beyond the short-term desire to avoid the misery of being ill. So in other words, take care of yourself wherever you are. And for goodness sake, don't get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm old anyway. Just let it, I'm going to age anyway. What else? You don't want to walk around and your face is all wrinkled up if you can help it. If you can help it. Now, people are making a huge money off of giving people these different facelifts. They pull up the skin and make the face, and that works for a little while, but you still cannot avoid aging. And the people with the changed face, but they still eating the same stuff, that might be something that you want to look at. And having a nice tight face and you're not doing anything for the rest of the body, you may want to rethink that. So let's go on to preparing for the future drugs. This is one of the most important health tips for us all is in the medium term is to learn a bit more about the biology of aging. That's because there are drugs on the horizon that could slow down the aging process and to keep more of us healthier for a longer amount of time. So there is I don't ever like to say hope, but there is a reason for great expectation. Okay. What's the difference? Hope is when anybody can hope, but you don't have to do a thing and hope. You can sit down, you can lay down, you can go to sleep for years and you can still hope. But when it comes to expectation, this is the result of putting the work in. We have to put the work in, like my sister Iyanla Van Zant says, you got to do the work. Let's go on to the foods that complement your aging now. You ready, everybody? All right, first let's start off with avocados. Now, avocados are the fats overall, the fats can help to nourish your skin and prevent dryness. Lucky for our skin, avocados are packed with monounsaturated, and some of the polyunsaturated fats. So again, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated. Unsaturated means what? It means that it's going to remain liquid at room temperature. Okay, these are called the good fats. In fact, avocados are nutrient packed in general. Studies suggest that there's a beneficial association between avocado consumption and skin health. And research finds that the lutein and the zeaxanthin in the fruit may protect your skin from the UV damage. I want to say one more thing about avocados, that they're also nutrient boosters, which means that they can help enhance or augment the body's absorption of vitamin A and other fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. A, D, E, and K. Yay. Okay. Ultimately, this function may lead to boosting the protective effect some of these nutrients have on the skin health and overall health. So it's really important. You have avocados is an augmenter, especially for vitamin A. And vitamin C is also an augmenter. We'll get to that later. Let's go to next, berries. That looks great, right? So when we talk about the berries, this is berries such as blueberries and strawberries and raspberries. They're are not just delicious. They're also packed with the antioxidants and the vitamins to protect against the oxidative stress and inflammation, the key factors in aging. So again, the oxidative stress and inflammation are the key factors of us aging. What is an example of oxidative stress? Oxidative stress would be like the light that's shining in on us, too much sun that's in our face. Everything has to be balanced. Remember, back to the balance. With Black people that's going out on the beach and stand in the sun, especially when it's at its zenith, like between the times of 11 and 2 p.m., and you out there in that sun, those are destructive rays. They can do some damage. But some people do that so that they can stay out in the sun to get color, to get some kind of a hue of brown. Let's go ahead to also talk about the inflammation. Inflammation, that's what we want to do. We want inflammation we want to reduce the inflammation. What can cause inflammation? What can cause inflammation are some dairy products. What can cause inflammation are some meat products and meat byproducts. I know you don't want to hear it, but I am just reporting to you. Now, back to those delicious berries. These juicy fruits help to preserve your skin's elasticity. We talked about that last session, remember? The elasticity, and we talked about what else? Collagen. Remember? Collagen, along with what else did we find? Anybody remember? Write it down in your comments, okay? Because there's also something that works with the collagen, which is the structural substance that keeps the structure in our face and keeps the little remember that? So all of that is a part of collagen. Well, there's a few more things that I want you to remember too, and write those down. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at nuts now. Nuts and seeds. My eyes went straight to the cashews. Where did your eyes go straight to?
The pistachios.
Oh, nice. Okay. This is really great. And all types of, you see right here, variety, not just one variety. You find out the variety works with everything in nature that is incredible. There is a combination of something that's making it. It's not just an amoeba. It's really like, it's a combination of things. And when you look at an incredible person, it is a combination of things that makes that person incredible. They just weren't born and then bam, I'm incredible. All of us have people in our lives that make a big difference. And that is super important to, point that out for everybody. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. Let's just talk about the nuts and seeds, the crunch of youth. The almonds, the walnuts, chia seeds, and their kin are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, and antioxidants, which are essential to maintaining skin health, protecting against UV damage, and supporting brain function. Now, when I look at it first, and I would think myself as a neophyte or a person that is just learning, when I see that, I can eat these seeds and I can eat these walnuts, but then as I'm hearing about protecting against the UV damage, I'm thinking, well, what do I eat the nut, or I take the nut oil and put it on my body? You see?
Yes.
So, one of the things that I can tell you is that eating nuts, then breaking it down, and then the oil from those nuts that come out of our skin becomes a protection. Not so much taking it and taking some almond oil and putting it all over you. You need UV, the anti ray formula, so that you can fight against too much sun. Now, remember again, with these little crunchy delights, you can sprinkle them over salads. You can blend them in smoothies, or into a smoothie bowl, or the eating alone. Yeah, that's all. It's as simple as that. Offering a delicious route to a youthful complexion and a sharp mind. So, although there are, mixing people, there are different stories about how you can, eat a certain thing and it goes as brain food and all that. Those are things that we'll be talking about in the future as we go into this wonderful year, 2025. Now, some people will say, "What you talking about eggs?" And the thing about it is, the ones that always complain are the ones that's eating them. It's like, you're eating it, so why not? Let's talk about this and stop the nonsense. All right. So we talk about eggs. Eggs is a protein, is the fabric of collagen. We just talked about that, right? Collagen is what keeps our skin nice and plump. And eggs are a top source of high quality protein. But don't just eat eggs white. Eat just the egg whites, and that's another way to sell the product. We do things to give the marketers the marketing people a idea, and then they sell our idea back to ourselves. Now, quite a while ago, people said, "Don't eat the yolk because the yolk is bad." And then later on, the yolk has actually more protein than the egg white. And then you heard other things. But one thing that we know as far as the composition of the egg is that it includes biotin. And biotin has been shown to help promote healthy skin, hair, and nails. Healthy skin, hair, and nails. Okay. And this is really important. So those that do eat eggs, and they're still not calling eggs dairy, so maybe that's helpful to those people that's hung up in the eggs with the name tag on them.
Right. And not consuming dairy, but I eat eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody got these different ways of doing it, and who am I to say right or wrong? What I do have to say is that whatever you're eating, however you're eating, it should maintain a balance in humans that some people call homeostasis, but it should have a balanced functional reaction or use for the food should keep that body balanced. And when you have like your cells balanced and your organs are doing what they're supposed to do, and your skin is doing what it's supposed to do, of course, that's the largest external organ, but all of your eyesight and your energy and all parts of your body start to react in the most positive and constructive way because you are balanced. Let's go to prunes next. Now, prunes are definitely effective in keeping your body balanced. And this is one, the prunes are the best known for promoting healthy bones and digestive health. And this is important. Digestive health right away you think about what? The breaking down of foods, right? The
Mm-hmm.
food is the fuel, and then we break that fuel down and we distribute it throughout the body. I'm going to talk about polyphenols. They may help to protect your skin from the potentially negative impact of the UV rays. Again, we don't know, especially living in here in Hollywood or Los Angeles, San Diego, Bay Area. All of those, we have a lot of sun, and there's other parts of the United States or the world that you may live in that you're allowing too much sun to your face. All right, we got to we're going to speed up a little bit so we can keep you on schedule. Pomegranate is really important. The pomegranate, there's a good reason pomegranates are an ingredient in so many beauty products. The pomegranate seeds contain the potent antioxidant anthocyanins as well as ellagic acid. Now, these both increase collagen production. This is real important because we talked about this even earlier, that what's the difference, Care, between the lotion and collagen?
With hydration, with the lotion, it moisturizes, and hydration is what you drink, right? Like drinking water.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's not hydration can come from, remember, if you're eating some of the the foods that's high in water content, like vegetables and fruits. Remember, you can also hydrate yourself from that. And there are grains, there are nuts also that we extrapolate the water from. So all of this is a way to hydrate. Even if we just drink one glass of water today, the rest of the food that you eat the body will extrapolate water to answer some of the request for more hydration. But you're absolutely right. Remember, there's a difference between lotion, which is what, Care? That's doing what?
Moisturizing.
That's moisturizing, yes.
Right.
And that's from the outside. Now, if I eat something and it hydrates and it makes my skin plump, that's when it's from the inside. And the things that we break down, and we break these things down to be absorbed, would be the help of the potent antioxidant, the anthocyanins, and as well as the ellagic acid. This is really, really good for the production or the increase of collagen production.
And I was going to say, I know that you mentioned, or last week we were talking about plant-based options for collagen. And just seeing this lets me say, oh, this is one of those options, pomegranate seeds, because it says it increases collagen production. So that's great to know, because we talked about that last week. And so, yeah.
And in addition to what you're saying, Care, here, the anthocyanins are also in what? You find them where? You find those anthocyanins in fruit, in vegetables, and nuts and seeds. Okay. So these are they might have a different amount, but we know that, when it comes to blueberries and cherries and strawberries and pomegranate and all the different types, they're power packed with things that will make our body feel better. Now, blueberries, well, go ahead, Karen.
Oh, no, I was just like, yeah, okay, great.
All
That's
right.
good to know.
Absolutely. So the blueberries, this is really important too. With your blueberries, sometimes like boysenberries, is really important to get these in your body too. They are great in adding to a fruit salad. Some people actually put peaches and all that stuff in lettuce and onions and grapes. It's a little too much for me. But get that in your body. You eat your fruit, some raw fruit, not the canned. Frozen fruit, if you get frozen fruit, that's okay. I like fresh because I like I love the bite into them, and I like the bursting reaction when you chew on them. Okay, we're almost there. The blueberries are important because they're an excellent source of powerful antioxidants that fight against the free radicals that can damage the collagen in your skin. This is real important. Again, the antioxidants that fight against free radicals. And we have free radicals around us all the time. We actually produce free radicals on a daily basis. So instead of our skin or our cells damaging so to the point where we are wrinkled, and some people are wrinkle prone, we want to make sure that we eat the foods that protect us against that, and blueberries are one of those foods. Next, we're looking at the extra virgin olive oil. Remember, extra virgin means that it's not as processed. So sometimes extra virgin is like this is almost hands off and done in the simplest way. But when you get these oils that are pretty and stuff, and they come in bottles like this, like the olive oil, you notice the real olive oil comes in a bottle, and what color is the bottle? Dark green, right? Yes, right. It's a dark green usually. And that's a sign of really a good product as far as the way that they packed it. The extra virgin olive oil will keep your skin looking younger, and is all that has all you have to do to have good skin is to use those mono unsaturated fats offered by the oil, which is associated with the increase of skin elasticity and firmness. I'm giving you a hint when I said write it down. What's the other things that's great about those substances that keep us nice and plump and allow us to stretch? Next, we go to this. One of my favorites. Green. I don't want to interrupt,
but we do have that time already.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and we'll roll it up then if I'm getting this. All right, great. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this right here. Remember, add the green tea is super important. The catechins in green tea, the polyphenols in green tea, and that also protects the skin. Then there is salmon. This is people that eat salmon, and the fish itself. This is one I used to love this. I stopped eating it many years ago, but the salmon was one of my favorite. And if you're eating that, it's also one of the greatest resources for omega-3s. Then we want to just finish up right here where we have the top 10 highest foods in omega-3 fatty acids: flax seeds, chia seeds, salmon, walnuts, firm tofu, canola oil. Now, somebody said this to me. I just saw this. This person said that, I looked at one of your videos and you said drink canola oil. I haven't ever said, hey, canola oil is it, because that wouldn't be my first choice. This is what I did say, that if you are using lard, or if you've been eating street foods or fast foods or these so-called quick serve foods, you are most likely eating the sugar, the oil, and the oil is usually oil that is like a grease, peanut oil, or some saturated oil that isn't the best choice. Then coconut canola oil, if a person, it's not my number one choice, but it is an oil that people use on a constant basis. I will go back over that when we go over, smoking. The smoking points that we used for the oil and all that. Navy beans. I love navy beans. Haricot is another name for navy beans. And avocados along with Brussels sprouts. And some people like shellfish. So there you have it, everybody. I'm going to stop it right there because I know we went over a little bit, but I want you to take this and I want you to put it in action. That's the main thing, is take this information and just don't, keep it to yourself. Take this and share it with somebody. But let me say this before you go and, open your own classes. It's like, make sure that you understand what you're saying, what you're talking about, and how it helps. And remember that we can help each other, but rely on our communities. We got a lot of incredible people that are in nutrition, gastroenterology. We have people that are diabetologists. We have people that are all types of specialists, and they look just like you. There's no excuse. Now, we need to, a lot of times these doctors don't want to, they're not going to do, they may not come on. They're brilliant, but they're brilliant in another way. So you won't see them that perhaps on TikTok, or they may not be on some other stuff, but there are doctors that tear it up. They're on there, do a great job.
It's funny that you mentioned TikTok, because I mentioned the Hillman Talk University, which is a trend that just started off on TikTok last week, where you have a lot of Black educators, giving free information and having classes and things like that on TikTok. So as soon as you mentioned TikTok, that's what came to my mind. But a lot of Black educators is giving great information, and I see you on there too, Dr. Zari. But yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to get on that right away, Kara, because we need to do that. I saw a little bit of that, I think, flash when I was looking at something on TV. But I really, I want to do that because I'm about the Blackness. And it's really a beautiful thing. We are getting more of you that are writing in. You're becoming part of our moving, I should say, our movement. And that is to increase the health and decrease the illness. And we're really, really proud of everybody that's really stepping up. Because we hear it, Karen and I hear it constantly. We heard your program. That was really great. When the next time you guys going to be on? Oh, I want to come in. I want to say something, or I'm going to spread that news. Ooh, that helped my father. That helped my children and all that. So that's how we get paid. Later on, we got some other things for you. But for now, Karen, I'm going to let you get the last word in. And I'm happy again that you're here. We'll see you next week, Saturday morning at 8 a.m. And remember, for those of you that want to get your Funkinetics on, you want to get working out, come and meet us. We have a nutrition class at 9 a.m. to 10. And then we have another class. We have the fitness class is right after that. And believe me, people already have been talking about that, singing the praises of the class, because we are moving our bodies and making it happen. We're doing a lot of stuff, everybody. Thank you here today. This very wonderful pre-recording. And we'll see you next week. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.
And I'm Carolyn Janto. Thank you all so much for joining us.